8 weird thinking patterns that secretly reveal genius. Number 8, instantly switching perspectives in your head. Some people get stuck in one point of view and defend it like a castle. Genius-level thinkers don't do that. Their brain naturally flips perspectives mid-thought. You might start with one opinion, then suddenly see the opposite side without trying. Not just imagining it, but actually feeling how someone else would think, react, or disagree. Your mind changes seats in real time. This isn't confusion, it's mental flexibility. Your brain automatically asks, what if the opposite were true? Why would someone believe that? What am I missing right now? Most people need a debate partner to challenge their thinking. Your brain does it on its own. That's called cognitive flexibility, the ability to hold multiple viewpoints at the same time without panicking. This can make you look indecisive from the outside because you pause before committing. But what's really happening is quality control. Your brain is stress testing ideas before accepting them. Highly creative scientists, writers, and strategists use this exact thinking pattern. It allows them to spot weak logic, hidden assumptions, and better solutions faster than people who lock into one perspective. If you've ever disappointed yourself and impressed yourself in the same thought, congratulations. Your brain is running advanced software. Number 7, arguing with your own thoughts before anyone else can. You come up with an idea, and it feels solid. Then, almost immediately, your brain starts pushing back. It questions the logic, tests the weak spots, and challenges the conclusion, all without anyone else saying a word. This isn't self-doubt, it's internal debate. Your mind doesn't just accept ideas because they sound right. It wants proof. So it pulls the idea apart, checks the reasons behind it, and asks whether it would still hold up under pressure. This thinking pattern is called self-generated reasoning. Instead of waiting for feedback from others, your brain produces its own counter-arguments automatically. Most people stop thinking once an idea feels comfortable. Genius-level thinkers do the opposite. They keep thinking because it feels comfortable. They know easy answers are often incomplete ones. This habit can make explaining your thoughts difficult. By the time you speak, you've already argued both sides in your head, changed your stance, and refined it again. To others, it can look like overthinking. In reality, your brain is running an internal quality check. It's not trying to tear ideas down, it's trying to make them stronger. Number 6, making up random rules just to see what happens. At some point, you started inventing rules that nobody asked for. Only step on certain tiles. Finish this task before the song ends. Don't use a specific word for no reason at all. You weren't trying to be quirky. Your brain was running experiments. This thinking pattern shows up early in highly intelligent minds. Instead of only reacting to the world, your brain creates artificial challenges just to test itself. It adds friction on purpose. Think of it like turning life into a private video game, where the levels are invisible and the scoreboard exists only in your head. No prizes, no audience, just curiosity. Psychologists call this abstract simulation. Your brain invents scenarios, rules, and constraints to see how thinking changes under pressure. What happens if I limit myself? What happens if I break the usual order? What happens if I ignore the normal way to do this? Most people avoid unnecessary difficulty. Your brain quietly adds it. As an adult, this shows up as mental experiments. What if I do this backwards? What if I ignore the instructions? What if I remove the obvious solution? This isn't distraction. It's mental training. Every made-up rule forces your brain to adapt, problem solve, and stay flexible. To outsiders, it can look pointless. To your brain, it's leg day. You're building strength in thinking by resisting the easiest path, and sometimes just to see if you can. If you've ever challenged yourself for absolutely no reason and enjoyed it, that's not weird. That's a brain that likes to test its limits. Number 5, zooming way out over tiny decisions. You're standing in a store trying to choose something simple, but your brain refuses to treat it as simple. Suddenly, it's not just a product, it's health, time, money, future consequences, ethics, effort, and long-term impact. A 5-second choice turns into a full documentary series. This isn't overthinking. It's context stacking. Your brain naturally zooms out before locking in. Instead of focusing only on what's right in front of you, it scans how this moment fits into the bigger picture. What happens next? What does this affect later? What does this say about the system as a whole? Most people think locally. Genius-level thinkers think globally, even when buying cereal. This habit shows up everywhere. In conversations, you listen beyond words. In conflict, you pause while others react. You're watching cause and effect unfold before making a move. The downside? You can feel slow, detached, or stuck in your own head while everyone else has already chosen and moved on. The upside? Your decisions tend to age well. When your brain starts wide, details fall into place naturally. You're not rushing toward the fastest answer. You're aiming for the one that still makes sense later. If your brain keeps asking, where does this lead, when others are asking, what's fastest? That's not hesitation. That's strategic thinking doing its thing. Number 4, automatically seeing everything as a system. Most people see events as separate moments. You don't. To you, a group of friends isn't just a group, it's a network. A job isn't just a job. It's roles, incentives, pressure points, and power flow. A conversation isn't just words, it's tone, timing, status, and subtext all moving at once. Your brain naturally organizes reality into systems. A system is anything where parts affect each other. Change one piece and something else shifts. Your mind tracks these connections automatically, even when no one asks you to. You notice patterns others miss. Who influences who? How moods spread through a room. Where tension quietly builds before anything goes wrong. This thinking style is called systems thinking. It's common in engineers and strategists, but it also appears in emotionally intelligent people who understand group dynamics deeply. Because your brain is always mapping structure, you often feel calmer once you understand how things fit together. Chaos feels stressful. Patterns feel safe. The downside is mental fatigue. While others relax in social situations, your brain is still scanning. You're the human smoke detector, constantly checking for problems that may never happen, and occasionally going off when someone burns the toast. This also makes explaining your insight hard. You see the system clearly, but translating it into words feels like trying to describe an entire map using only one street name. If you've ever sensed a situation was about to shift before anyone else noticed, you weren't imagining it. Your brain was reading the system, not the surface. Number 3, replaying past moments to extract meaning. Something small happens. A comment, a pause, a look that lasts half a second too long. Everyone else moves on. Your brain does not. Hours later, you're still replaying it. Not to torture yourself, but to understand it. Your mind runs the moment back like game footage. It watches from different angles, slows it down, and asks what caused it, what followed it, and what was actually going on beneath the surface. This thinking pattern is called post-event processing. It's the brain's way of learning by reviewing experience instead of discarding it. While some people reflect emotionally, your brain reflects structurally. It asks, why did that moment feel off? What changed right before it? What did I miss at the time? Each replay isn't random. Your brain is refining its model of how people and situations work. It's extracting data. This habit can feel exhausting because your mind doesn't easily let go of unresolved patterns. If something doesn't make sense, it stays open, like a tab you forgot to close. To others, this looks like rumination. To your brain, it's calibration. This pattern often leads to strong emotional intelligence. You remember how things felt, how timing mattered, and how small choices shaped the outcome. Over time, these lessons quietly sharpen your instincts. If moments tend to stay with you longer than they should, it's not because you're stuck in the past. It's because your brain is still learning from it. Number 2, watching yourself while you're living the moment. You're in the moment, but also not completely. You're talking, listening, reacting like everyone else, yet part of your mind is slightly pulled back, watching it all happen. You notice how you're coming across, how others are responding, and how the energy in the room is shifting in real time. This isn't detachment, it's metacognition. Thinking about your own thinking while it's happening. Most people fully disappear into experiences. Your brain stays partly outside so it can monitor what's going on. It checks alignment. Does this feel right? Is this working? Is something off? Because of this, you catch details others miss. Changes in tone, awkward pauses, who's leading the interaction and who's holding back. It can feel strange, even isolating. There's a quiet loneliness in being both the participant and the observer. You're never fully on autopilot. But this extra layer of awareness is powerful. It allows you to adjust on the fly, course-correct conversations, and read situations with precision. The downside is that you may feel slightly delayed from your own experience, like there's a half-second gap between living and noticing you're living. The upside is clarity. If you've ever felt like there's a built-in narrator following you around, quietly commenting on your life, that's not a flaw. That's a mind designed to understand itself while it operates. Number 1, feeling the urge to break invisible rules. You walk into a situation and immediately sense the boundaries, not the obvious rules, but the unspoken ones. What's expected, what's allowed, what no one questions anymore. While others follow these invisible constraints automatically, your brain starts scanning them for logic. It notices rules that exist out of habit, tradition, or convenience, not because they actually make sense. This thinking pattern is tied to divergent thinking, the ability to move beyond default assumptions and generate new possibilities. Your mind doesn't just accept the structure, it tests it. You ask questions like, why is this done this way? Who decided this rule? What happens if I step outside it? This doesn't mean you're rebellious for attention. It means your brain is wired to detect inefficiency and outdated patterns. Once you see a broken rule, you can't unsee it. This trait shows up quietly in innovators, problem solvers, and people who redesign systems from the inside. They don't always break rules loudly. Sometimes they rewrite them so well that no one notices. The downside is social friction. People may label you difficult, stubborn, or non-compliant, but what they're really seeing is a mind that refuses to follow limits that don't serve a purpose. If you've always felt an internal push to move past the way things are done, that wasn't defiance. That was your brain searching for something more accurate, more efficient, and more real. If you recognized yourself in more than one of these patterns, that's not a coincidence. These thinking styles often fly under the radar because they don't look like intelligence on the surface. If you want more breakdowns like this, subscribe to the channel and stay curious. There's a lot more coming.